Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Doucheless Vegan. It's your giddy guide to living a delicious life without being a dick. I know you hear panting. That's just my effect on men. And by men, I mean chocolate labs. My name is Carla Collins. I'm a comedian, and apparently I'm more like the douchey vegan this week because I think it's 2005. I'm wearing a trucker hat from that year, made popular by Ashton Kutcher. Can you even see me?
Does it say, what does that say on your hat? Von Douche?
Yeah, Von Douche. Again, 2005 up in here. And our king vegan, the leader of all vegans.
Bonjour.
Czar is Michael Stewart Webb. He's got 3 names. And we just chat and get rather silly at times during this show.
At times. Most of the time.
Constantly. By the way, we are currently roommates in Canada. I am based in LA. I'm now plant-based in LA. Thank you. I'm here all week. Try the faux veal. But I've been living with Michael, whom I refer to as my gay fiance. And what do you... Am I like a foster pet? I don't know what you refer to me as.
My beard.
I thought that was going to go any number of B-word ways. Yes, I'm
no.
50/50
Well,
beard.
it could. You're my bestie. There's a B word.
Yes, I like that.
You're my beard. There's another
I refer to her as my bitch. She's been here for what? So we live on what I, of course, playfully call the funny farm, north of Toronto. There's a shitload of animals here. That's what you need to know, who often interrupt the broadcast. And we've also noticed, we're hoping you're listening. We're available where all finer podcasts are, but we're also on YouTube. Love you to subscribe and leave a comment. But we've noticed that this camera angle sucks.
It does.
It really does. It also adds 30 pounds to both of us. We're like, be a vegan. Why are a couple of Oopa Loopas telling me to become vegan? It's it's a funhouse mirror. I'm not even kidding.
I know.
Oddly, it's the same camera we use for the other podcast we do, Carla Collins Rocks, and it's terrific there.
I know. It's just this angle. I don't know what's going on with it. So we're going to have to play with the angle.
We are.
I'm really not satisfied with the way this thing is portraying me.
Honestly, last week with the shirt I was wearing, it almost made the noise like some weird 60s episode of a Funhouse Mirror. It's just weird. It's just a very haunted, fun place. But we've got lots to discuss. And it's not just for vegans. We think it's great if you're vegan curious, or maybe you're just trying to go vegan once a week or on weekends, or you just want to become a little healthier. We have all kinds. And I'm telling you, we've got great, wicked adjacent secrets to gush about too.
Oh, yeah,
it's all anti-aging. We are full of it. Health. We're not doctors, so again, do your own research. These are just our opinions. And non-vegans, anybody, have fun. Grab a drink. We're not super strict. We're not here to try and convert you.
We're nothing even remotely strict.
No, we don't. Again, and we're not like shaming you into becoming vegan.
Absolutely
we're just saying, do you want to glow? Go vegan.
Exactly. Do you want to look like you're 12 when you're really 400?
That's right, because I am 400. Do you want to look 12? I guess. Depends. I mean, I guess if I really wanted to discount, just one child, please. Okay, lady, we're just gonna have to ask you to leave. But because we're actually spent an hour in between showings. Michael Stewart Webb is a baller realtor if you have any real estate needs. And we got to spend an hour on a patio today, and I'm giddy with vitamin D.
Do you know what? It was so refreshing. We don't need to tell anybody out there how difficult this past year has been with these perpetual shutdowns and lockdowns and forced confinement with your family.
Yes, people listening are like, oh, I know.
It's like solitary confinement, right?
Is it wrong to sell grandma on eBay? Say that depends.
Sell her off for spare parts.
Exactly. It's an auction. Exactly. No, just grandma or best offer. $20 or best offer.
Grandma Millie.
Oh, Grandma Millie. Priceless. She's priceless. So I don't know. It's just great that there's some more beautiful weather. I know If you're listening in LA, a lot of my friends listen from LA, and I know things have been opening up there. It seems to make the world a difference just to be, because I think we've been super positive. I try to be poly-positive.
Sure we have.
But you were racing me because I'm like, by the way, I'm wearing the hat because I haven't had my hair done in 3 months, and I can't contain it. It's, it's self-aware now. I don't know what it's doing. And I was like, oh, please don't shut down again. Please just let me sneak in on Monday, get a little root canal, which is what I call getting my roots done. Just a little bit of color so I can feel human. And we were going into the big city, and I remember thinking, oh, I guess I can have a glass of water. Because I had an appointment somewhere, and I was like, okay, this friggin' dystopian future we're living in, like every now and then it just gets to you.
Yeah, it's surreal, honestly. And, it's getting a lot of people down, too.
It's been a year. People, like,
just like...
At first it was almost fun and adventure, right? Everyone's like,
sure.
We can get through this for a couple months.
Absolutely.
Look at me reconnecting with my family, and we're making our own food, and this is wonderful. And now it's like, okay, I'm gonna cut a bitch.
So over it.
Yeah. So
well, we were talking the other day, like just bring on COVID. We were prepared to start licking toilet seats.
Again, we're not doctors, so you shouldn't probably do that.
Let's
but
just get it done.
Like the TikTok kids. I'm waiting for it. I want to be back on the plane to do it.
Tide Pod things.
Exactly. Oh, that's how I get the young guys. I just say, do you want to split a Tide Pod and a craft beer? And how about a White Claw, son? And they love me for that. So we found, honestly, a couple things really helped through this. Our philosophy's always been, and yes, I'm glad they're rolling out the vaccines. I know people are relieved by that, but just to try and be as healthy as possible. The vegan diet does help your mood, does help with that, I think. We also have quite a dependency on port. I like that we become fancy. We're like an episode of we're like Frasier and Niles. Oh, port? Yes, do it. Mind if I do.
Yeah, well, like we should be smoking cigars or something.
I know. Well, I did have a Colt the other day, which was unusual. And I wanted to have this wine and whiskey dip Colt. And the guy at the gas station said, are these for you? And I said, no, like a child. I didn't want him to think less of me.
No, you blamed it on me.
I did, and he's like, oh, I love you. That's good. You're a good girl. You're a very noble woman. I went from like not smoking a Colt to being a noble woman. I couldn't go back. I couldn't back down after that.
No.
I know. I was just outside having a Colt and a port. That's our fun.
Yeah.
So as you
blamed
can
it on
see,
your homo husband pumping gas out.
no, it's not for me. I don't know who it would be for. No, I'm just getting it from my dad. I don't know why I panicked. I think because, for
Judgment,
and because, I used to be a down low cigarette smoker back when I smoked, so I was always like, no, it's not for me. So I don't know why I did because that's what we're doing for fun. Ooh, it's so crazy and dangerous. Not really. It's a gas station. It's a gas station. Whiskey and wine.
Oh yeah, honestly, and he's a lovely gas station
He's
attendant,
so sweet.
but he does not care if you're buying them for you. Just
No, I know.
for future reference.
Well, of course. Oh well, now you have to go with this subterfuge. Now you're gonna have to go with the lie. He could never know. I want to keep thinking highly of me. So yeah, we've just so we think laughter, some quality, healthy food, and we'll get through.
That's right.
Because the alternative is like, listen, we're still in it, and it can be challenging some days, so be gentle on yourself.
Yeah, the alternative's not an alternative.
There isn't, and we've got to sort of be in this together. But it's funny because sometimes it's not an issue at all, and then all of a sudden I feel like everybody has and you notice that people are like losing patience. People are right. We were listening to a friend saying like everybody, like there's an expression in French called ras de bol. It means like it's just spilling over. Like that, you've had it up to here is what it kind of translates to. Yeah. And they said, everybody has a cup and everybody can only handle so much in their cup. You said, I have a shot glass. Some days we have a thimble.
Usually filled with tequila.
Yeah. So, so that's, and I just, we try to keep that in mind, but everybody's going through that, and who knows, because everybody's more sensitive than a clitoris online. I literally can't make, I mean.
Never having been close to a clit, I have no idea what that even means.
It's got 6,000 nerve endings or something.
All right.
Sensitive as a nipple.
I
don't know.
Where's my pad and paper?
I think you're still going to get the reference. It's very sensitive. But if, you can tell that like people they wanna go, they wanna fight no matter what.
Well, I think
no matter what you say, like you could be like, look at this puppy. Yeah, but that puppy's
it's
a
rumble.
Republican. What? I blame that puppy on Obama. That doesn't make any sense. Like it's so
nothing makes sense right
people,
now.
yeah. So it's just good to keep in mind, right? You don't want to. It's the whole don't take anything personally, especially right now. And I'm just saying that as a mantra to myself because I think.
Well, I think we need to, keep reminding ourselves of that. I mean, and we are at the end of the day all human, and
Exactly.
the last 12, 13 months has been really very trying for everybody, and we, as you just mentioned, need to be kind to ourselves. We need to be kind to others, and try wherever possible, to remember that we're all kind of paddling the same canoe through this cesspool of life right now, right?
Yeah.
And some days are easier than others, and when we stumble and we're unkind, we got to figure of ourselves, and we've got to make amends for that too. So.
Exactly, and hang out with animals. They're great listeners.
They are, and they don't judge. All they want is food.
They really think food and loving. That's it. A good poop. Because we neither one of us had much sleep last night,
Nope,
and
I don't think I had any.
Nope. And so just before we recorded this, I was upstairs and there were like 2 kittens purring on me. Dr. Zira. Dr. Zira, by the way, my 14-year-old Chihuahua, at least 14. She could be 37. Who knows? You never know with rescues. 6 months from when I brought her, like when she had to spend the night in emergency at a hospital. And at 6 months of texts, I bring her in every month, and she's doing really well.
Yeah, she's thriving. She's doing really
off her meds, just like me. We're freestyling. So,
Country life agrees with her.
I think she is thriving here. That's what a psychic said. She's like, Sarah likes being at the farm, and it's giving her great purpose, and she likes hanging out with the others. And I'm like, okay. What? It seems like she do, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, no, I think she does. She seems very content and very happy, and the victuals are good, so what more could a girl ask for?
Exactly. Well, I think we're never leaving. Carla, that pandemic ended in 2020. Oh no, I can't be too cautious. Still here. And a douchey trucker hat.
God.
But so there's much vegan news.
There is
this week, and we've got so one thing, and I hadn't heard of this, but apparently vegans have been clamoring for something called Just Egg to make its way into Canada. It's been previously only available in the U.S. And I still say, because I may be an intermittent vegan. Again, I'm not. Eggs were one of my go-tos, mostly because one of the few things I can make, and I always thought it was very healthy food. Worked for me. But I guess this Just Egg company, which is made mostly from mung beans, it's been around for thousands of years, and people love them, and the toaster variety that folds is available, so that was less appealing to me.
All right, so what is that, the toaster variety? Like you put it in there with your...
Well, it's not the pouring kind. Like everybody wants the pouring kind, right? So you can scramble it and it's more like eggs, but I guess the folding, how sometimes in some diners you get the folding eggs, almost like an omelet. Yeah, exactly. Okay. So those are available, and apparently everyone's rejoicing. So Just Egg available at your local grocery store now. And
like in Canada?
Yes, in Canada. Just this week.
Where? Do we know where that's available?
Just said finer grocery stores everywhere that it just arrived in this country.
So maybe the Pusateri's and the Whole Foods? Or...
It didn't. I was checking it before the show to see, but they didn't mention anything specifically. They just said that some restaurants were bringing it in.
Oh, interesting.
And then I hadn't heard of it, but obviously people are into Just Egg and just now here.
All right, well let's keep our eyes peeled for that, and we'll.
I'd like to try that.
Yeah, I would be down for trying that too. I mean, I was never really a big egg lover to begin with.
No, you're not. Like that's why I brought it up, because I think I've been a little more excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, I did when I was consuming eggs all those years ago. Like enjoy like a really well done omelet. Well done, not like overcooked, but a well prepared.
Yes.
Well prepared. Not a cremated omelet, but a well prepared omelet.
Right.
So it might be interesting. give that a whirl. So let's maybe have a look, do some research, let people know next time where they can find them.
Yeah, I'm gonna do a little bit more. I mean, that's all because it was literally just a few days ago that this came out. Thank you to treehugger.com, which I'm like, oh, of course that's the vegan site. So that's just our little amuse-bouche because we have so much more. I don't know if you want to take it away with that.
So our special delivery that we're
yes.
this week? Yeah, absolutely. So we were really excited to receive our sample pack of the wares offered by the Very Good Butchers.
Out of Vancouver, right?
Yeah, they are based out of Vancouver. So the company was started some years ago by James Davidson, who is a fellow Brit. So of course I love him immediately.
You're such a Brit, like, oh, it's British, I love it.
Hey, I'm proud.
Very proud Brit. You watch all the British TV shows.
I do. Hey, listen, you have to confess honestly that some of the British programming that we've been watching is really top
spectacular.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you know this, but Brits are pretty good at humor too. So yes,
British humor, of course.
The France in me has got to, of course, rebel against this whole hoity-toity. But, well, you know, the only reason I told you, I'm lacking the gene that would cause me to give a shit about the royal family. That's where we differ.
That's okay.
That's fine.
You know, in British culture, aside from the royal family, it's, you know, pretty banging.
Banging Brit culture. So he's a fellow Brit.
Yeah, so James Davidson is one of the co-founders of Very Good Butchers. Moved to BC with his family, and he was, as the story goes, really he originally not a vegan. So he was classically trained. He's a classically trained chef in the French cuisine.
Oh, wow, lots of butter.
Right. Yeah, lots of dairy, lots of meat.
So absolutely rich food.
Very
delicious.
rich food.
But yeah.
So he originally classically trained in French cuisine, moved to Canada, started experimenting more with a vegan or vegetarian and vegan lifestyle, was really very disappointed with the options that were available out there, and so he decided to start developing his own products, his own plant-based meat substitute.
Right.
And so he was selling his wares he developed this whole product line, this process, and butchering beans instead of beasts, and so he started selling his wares at a farmer's market. He couldn't keep up with demand, and in this farmer's market in BC, he met up with his Mitchell Scott, who co-founded the company with him, and they were featured on the Dragon's Den, not during the period that our buddy Michael Weckerly was on it, but
cool.
They could not keep up with demand, so they had to actually close their online store because they just didn't have the capacity to produce.
Wow. That's when people usually go to Dragon's Den or Shark Tank. They're like, listen,
right?
I need some money.
Well, and they got a ton of money to help them with improving process and manufacturing and all that kind of stuff. So they couldn't keep up with demand. It's the Canadian success story. So we purchased, I've kind of been following this story for some time now, and I just never bit the bullet and started ordering any of the products. So we kind of bit the bullet, and we ordered a sample pack.
There's all kinds of stuff.
Oh, it's got everything. I mean, it's got a roast beast, and it's got like riblets, and this taco stuffer that we did try that we'll talk about in a minute. And it's got burgers, which we haven't. All we've tried so far is the taco stuffer.
Yeah, we just yesterday, and we were talking that now we can barbecue outside.
I know the weather's better, so I'm looking forward to trying these burgers from the Good Butchers. So. Interestingly enough, everything that they produce is 100% organic. It's lower in sodium than any of the competitors out there. And so we didn't have maybe the best experience with the taco. It was okay.
It was just bland.
It was. I had to zhuzh it up a lot, and even then it was like, okay.
Yeah, it was man. Because we're going to be honest, because I don't want to mislead anyone, and it's, it was like what I've tasted before when I've tried to go vegan. So might need zhuzhing. I also just found out I don't think I'm a fan of refried beans, which is good. This vegan diet has me a little, so far it's a lot enough. I think I don't need to go near the refried.
In the trombone.
So it was, I mean, the tacos were fine, but.
Yeah, they were fine. I mean, they didn't blow our socks off.
No, and we need to try it. Like, there's so much in that basket that came.
Oh,
we want to give it a fair overall.
Absolutely.
But we're always going to be super honest because
we have to be because that's what people count on.
Yeah, it's the whole point of this.
You know, so I will say that even after all of the zhuzhing, and there was a lot of zhuzhing, I would have to say that the Yves ground beef is probably a better product. But you know, I'm still very much looking forward to trying the rest of their wares, and they've met with really incredible reviews.
You were saying too that they're just like, well, obviously, if they're successful, then there's got to be a lot of deliciousness somewhere. Because,
yeah, absolutely.
You know, people aren't going back, and they didn't become this huge success if they don't have
by schlepping crap. Exactly.
So
you know, so. You know, so maybe they didn't quite hit the mark with this taco stuffer, you know, and we have tried some of the competitive products out there, which we would probably lean more toward. I mean, if I had to do these tacos over again, I would probably defer to these Mexican ground beef, which we have had, and it's really good.
Well, look, because listen, first of all, from what I understand, when people are first dipping their toe in the vegan waters, they like to first sample things that most closely resemble. Like instead of going full salad, they like the meat replacements.
Yeah, of course.
And now I've been cooking because again, who am I? I don't know. I've just been trying all different things here. That's so long with being the cat lady. But I remember putting some, and I don't remember what it was, so I can't. But I put it in the pasta and I was not thrilled a couple weeks ago. And I don't remember exactly what it was.
You did put Yves in.
That was Yves the Italian. Okay, so I wasn't as crazy about it. But this week, you brought home these sausages, just so I can say the word sausage, and it was Gusta Italian sausage. I just had one as is. They don't even need to be cooked. They're delicious. Yeah. I burned through those. So
I have to say I was kind of impressed with the Gusta stuff.
So good.
Their grating block, which is their answer to cheese, is really muy horrible.
Okay. So I think everybody's, first of all, it's subjective, right? And everybody's going to have their star products over others. Of course it is,
yeah. And you know, in the defense of the Good Butchers, right? So they're appealing to a mass market. And so...
And people like it. What you and I like super fiery, spicy
super flavorful, spicy food. So, so in their defense, you know, they have to produce a product that appeals to the greater masses. I thought it was just a little on the bland side. I mean, texturally it was good.
Yeah.
The texture was there, absolutely. I love the fact that it's low in sodium. I love the fact that it's high in protein.
Well, yeah, I forgot to mention, that's the big, why people are loving Just Egg, because it has no cholesterol and has higher protein than animal protein.
Wow, that's amazing.
So, you know,
that's amazing.
And sometimes people are eating for health, so this is important,
absolutely.
Right? They just want to get in the nutrients that their body needs.
Absolutely. And to that point, too, I will also say that after reading the label, the nutritional label on the Good Butcher's taco stuffer product, it has 100% of your daily B12 requirements.
Wow, so, that's huge selling point.
It is huge. So it's got a lot of really good stuff going for it. You know, you and I have particularly fiery tastes, and so we found it a little on you know, the bland side. Again, texturally, it was great. It just...
And I was in easy room because I had a couple drinks.
Yeah, you had a couple cocktails.
That was the cocktail in
oh my God, my God, I love you.
I think I did. Yes, Michael, can I just tell you that I love you? I know. I just right out of a cartoon. I'm a total cliche. And I own that. I lean into it. now.
It was fabulous.
Gotta own it. Yeah. Yeah, there's a part where I'm like, I think I'm a little drunk. I was out running in the lawn with the animals.
Yeah, that's in your lingerie.
Yeah, so you
know.
No,
I'm making that bit up.
That part is up. But no, but you know, I used to, of course. That would be the first thing, is show everybody my bra. That's what I used to do when I got back. So, yeah. So, if anyone would have been an easy room for a taco, I would have been. But, so we're going to try all the other stuff.
We are going to try it, and we'll report back. I mean, I'm looking forward to trying the burgers. As we've talked about in other episodes, I mean, not all vegan burgers are created alike. So I'm really, really interested and excited about trying their burger. We know that Beyond Meat is a great burger. We know that Life Light, which is the Canadian alternative to Beyond Meat, is a great burger. But there's a lot of
sawdust. Yeah, there's a lot of I'm sorry, but this burger is a hate crime. No, thank you.
Yes,
I can't be tortured with this.
Yeah, there's not a lot of good ones. President's Choice has a really great meat alternative.
Yeah,
burger
we
as
have
well.
that here a lot.
Yeah, we do. So I'm looking forward to, now that we have some glorious weather ahead of us, I'm really looking forward to firing up the barbecue and maybe throwing some good butchers on the barbecue.
Yeah.
And seeing where we can go from there,
So tell me the stat that you read about the good butchers about
vegan.
Just because I'm saying we're just riding the future wave, kids. Just the wave of the future.
Yeah. So during all of my research about the story behind the good butchers and the vegan meat alternative industry and plant-based meat substitutes, they were suggesting that by 2025, which is only 4 years away.
Is that insane? Why are there no spaceships and stuff? Why am I not wearing a pair of high-heeled hover boots?
I know.
Why, I ask. Yes, 2025
I
I can't believe that 2000 was 5 years ago. It's just when I was a child star. It's crazy. So
it's wild.
So by 2025,
a $19 billion with a B a year industry is the plant-based meat industry.
wild.
$19 billion. That's incredible.
Well, again, people are so tuning into this whole food as medicine.
Mm-hmm.
And, in tandem maybe a bit with the pandemic, with the pandemi Lovato, pandemi more, people have noticed that, maybe we should just be, as we always talk about, take our cue from nature, go back to some basics, instead of all this chemical stuff. And, the turmeric and the curcumin or whatever, what's the thing that's with it? There's turmeric, there's the two things. It's one of the
capsaicin. Yeah, you want to have capsaicin with cucumber.
I know.
With turmeric.
Because I take so many vitamins.
Yeah, that's the
I even snuck in some olive leaf this week when we went out shopping. Can you please get me this, Daddy? I need more vitamins, which I'm gonna segue into. But
so the curcumin or whatever the hell it is the active ingredient in turmeric, and you need to metabolize that with capsaicin, which is the active ingredient in black pepper.
So between that and green tea, there are just so many natural, food that they say literally can reverse disease. So I think with that, and of course they tend to be almost all. Some can be some sea life, but almost all are plant-based. Mm-hmm. And I think people are really oh, okay, why not? Especially whether it's the beauty industry or your overall health, or during this one, it's like some weird survival of the fittest Hunger Games right now during the pandemic. I think people are paying more attention, so it doesn't surprise me. Also, knowledge, power, people see a little bit what's going on with the whole, either it's the environment, maybe you're worried about having a planet for your children, or you see the cruelty. It doesn't matter what your reason is, but I think more and more people are just being more informed.
For sure, and we need to be. That was actually one of the motivating factors for James Davison, the co-founder of the Doucheless Vegan.
No, they're not. Not everyone is doucheless. You think everyone's a vegan vixen like us?
I know. They're one of the co-founders.
The very good butchers.
I don't know.
The Doucheless Vegan. What is it? Does that mean that they're not butch? What is that?
I have no idea what I'm saying right now.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. So he was.
This is our life all the time, by the way. What? We were crying on the way home yesterday talking about something. We were just making all these silly jokes.
We're just being 14-year-old boys.
I know, including silos that I'm like, those are kind of fun. The twin penile. That's right. I don't know why, but anyway, so
So part of the reason that he wanted to start exploring, James Davison, that is one of the co-founders of the Good Friend Good Butchers, was he was really surprised, for lack of a better word, and disappointed in present day factory farming.
Yeah.
You know, and how controversial that is, and how unethical it really is. So that was one of the prompting and contributing factors to him exploring more of a plant-based diet.
Very cool. Yeah. So to that point, as you know, I'm always like delving deep and seeing. Well, okay, so the backstory on this, because I think it's kind of funny, is that I do this character called Souffle.
Whom I love.
So
she's currently
in fact, well, it's not me, but yes. So I mean, I'm just like, I know here's some deconstructing of comedy, and I thought, well, it would be really great to do Souffle on the farm. Just have, and by the way, she's a French lingerie model, so she's always in lingerie. She'll wear, you know, like longer, like maybe not crop tops or just bras. She might wear teddies because she's in Canada. It's colder. Always in high heels. It's because they lived in France, and you know, so I needed lingerie from home, specifics, and so I had my older gentleman lover was like, I will send you some stuff that's here. So the funny thing was, we're on FaceTime. I'm like, yeah, that. Oh yeah, you're gonna want that little number. Like that garter belt in. And with it, he had told me, because when I was having some problems with the face, and I had been taking sulfur or MSM, you know, in a powder form, and half the time we'd go to Whole Foods, it would be out, or a lot of them have a lot of filler in it. It tastes. I mean, yes, you can imagine sulfur's not delicious, but it's quite bitter. So he said, you know, do you want me to send you a pack? I'm like, no, because it looks like cocaine. I said, don't put that. I don't need any trouble with, you know, customs. But of course,
it arrives looking like a bag of cocaine.
Yep. So, no, but I'm so thrilled about it, because this is the pure stuff, and I believe it's pureorganicsulfur.org. Sulfur with an F is the pureorganicsulfur.org. So I thought, oh, you know, I'm gonna look into this more. Apparently, this is it. This is the elixir. This is the missing link. The key to everything, from it's known as the beauty and youth mineral, to the fella who he reversed his son's cancer, so he started doing this, and this is pure stuff. But according to the people who sell this, since 1954, I believe, there is really no sulfur in our diets because of the chemical fertilization.
Really?
Yes, and so this is one of the minerals. You know, some of us are lacking in magnesium. There can be the iodine, you know, with salt, but that we're all lacking sulfur. Now, his claims, and I don't know about this, but everything from reversing autism, cancer, and they have a study. There's a great podcast right now on their site, so listen for yourself. He's quite a character. If nothing else, will be entertained. But they have over 500,000 or a million people on it, and they call them all their over 80s. And so now all these older women were, you know, men getting sexually active again, dropping. The first thing you notice is how good it is for your eyes. They said that, so the first two things is that you get a glow. They were throwing out their readers. They were throwing out their walkers.
Incredible.
And when I looked on YouTube, there's a bunch of YouTubers doing MSM stuff where your hair and nails grow like crazy. It, of course, because it carries it through your cell membrane, so you're getting all the collagen. And of course, it's a big detoxifier. So some people, when they first start taking it, don't feel so great. And this guy's like, no, keep taking it. And apparently, all of us, if you're between 100 and 200 pounds or 250 pounds, you take a teaspoon and twice a day, followed by a lot of water, of course, or in hot water, or I guess you could throw it in your shake. So I'm going to start taking the second teaspoon. But I do know when I was on this NILA, I did notice a really big difference. So I just thought, you know me, well, my hair looks better. I had no idea it did all. I mean, it was an hour long, and it was a Brit who was hosting, so you're going to want to listen to it, honey.
I love him already.
I know, it was just surreal what they found. And of course, again, it's always these little hidden gems because Big Pharma doesn't make any money, right? Because it's sulfur, it's pretty inexpensive. It's like maybe if you were on $15 a month.
Wow.
You know, so
that is pretty cheap.
So it's pretty cheap, and yeah, it just I got here and I was like, my God, this is apparently miraculous. So we'll see again, like we do here. I will be on this, and he said sometimes people are like, oh, I don't know if I notice any difference, and they don't continue after the first month, and then their knee pain comes back, and they ask him to rush him, and overnight, and he's like, hey, I didn't run out, you did. As I said, he's quite a character.
Wow.
But
so do these people deliver to Canada, or do we all need an OGL?
I know it's yes. Well, first of all, everyone does need an OGL, obviously. I know it's free delivery to the States, but I think they deliver all over the world.
Oh, okay.
He says he delivers to because Sweden, Finland, they were talking about and obviously the guy was a Brit, and I believe doing the interview from London. Okay. So I think they do deliver, but I will because I have to say. And again, a lot of the YouTubers, first of all, of course, consult your doctor. Again, you want to do your own research. I'm not telling people, but when I was doing research and listening to a lot of the YouTubers who are going crazy for it, mostly for the beauty mineral part, they did say that the less organic or pure form has an even worse taste, and the stuff I picked up at Whole Foods.
You did not enjoy
it. Gosh. And that's when my older gentleman lover said that's because there's crap in there. Let me send you this bag that looks like cocaine across the border, but of course it's labeled, and it's not, by the way, it's not yay my sulfur, but take it first thing in the morning, and it's again pure, organic, and allegedly we all lack this, and it's just proved to be everything from the fountain of youth to a miraculous, fairly inexpensive cure.
That's pretty spectacular.
So we'll see if all the claims are true, but I'm like, I'll add. And I do remember when I wasn't even taking enough of the dose, apparently, because I think my OGL said it might affect sleep. But at this point, listen.
Well, you're not getting any.
I'm not sleeping anyway, so I know this can't make it worse. But I was blown away looking at all the benefits. It's surreal. So
that's pretty amazing.
Well, we'll see.
I'll have to do a little research of my own.
Exactly. But this whole, I think people are kind of, I don't say waking up because I always I don't say woke, but are realizing that the more natural, like people are growing their own food, like these two gentlemen who are talking, and again, the closer to nature, if we can just mimic that. We're more in rhythm with that stuff because again, it's all the chemicals. Yeah. Apparently, sulfur is one of the best things of ridding your body of metals, heavy metals.
Oh, interesting.
Yes, AC/DC came up, but I've only been on it for 3 days.
Got a new single coming out. Pour some sulfur on me.
That's right. That's not AC/DC.
Is it not? Who is it?
No, that's Def Leppard.
Oh, is it? I don't know. I don't know shit about
I love the fact that I knew that.
I'm impressed.
I only know Def Leppard because they're like one of the number one choices for strippers back in the day.
Oh, really? Oh.
They used to have stripper Saturdays or something on Q107 in Toronto where they played like the music that most strippers undress to.
Oh.
How do I know that? Don't worry about it, pussycats. Stuff in my blast. Remember, I was outside running around like a chicken in lingerie on the lawn yesterday.
Oh my God.
Allegedly chasing the dog.
In air quotes.
Out there communing with nature. I gotta combat the port. So so this is the deal, but it is wild. And speaking of a big industry, and he claims it's all word of mouth. They don't advertise.
That's pretty wild.
So I want you to tell me when I'm glowing.
You are glowing, darling.
Even more so. Just wait for it. My goodness, I don't know if this does what. Really, I was listening to it with all the animals, thinking, okay, one more thing, because Britt would say, "Now, what's the efficacy of it?" It's like 100%, 100%. It was basically like it's almost reanimating the dead. Like, it was that close. I'm like, this guy's gonna tell me like my grandmother died, but now she's back.
Oh,
and he kept saying we can't kill them off. So I don't know. So that's just something else because I like to tell you and as I said, I'm not the only one with it. When I saw that all the YouTubers, like obviously when there's something that's fabulous, people get hip to it, and so why not? It seems like there's nothing but benefits. And I know you're not supplement guy, but I may try to get you on this.
I mean.
You're like, no, I don't. I'm like, want some of my shake, my smoothie in the morning? You're like, no, I don't. Those are bad, so we're good. You don't have to. Your skin's fabulous, and you're completely healed from an accident that happened a week ago. So, you know, you're good. You've got it.
I'm golden.
But yeah, so any of these little discoveries, I'm all about it too. And I just find that fascinating.
Well, you love this stuff too. You love the research and...
Delicious, yeah. I like to know. They're like,
but that's not delicious. The sulfur.
Oh God, no. Well, a lot of stuff that's good for you really isn't. Let's be honest.
Well, I don't know if that's necessarily true.
No, there's. I mean, you know, the diet, the vegan diet is really. I mean, I told you a lot of things I like better than their animal counterparts. And you know what? My smoothie in the morning isn't bad. I don't. I don't know that I could line people up to sell it. However, speaking of that. We're going to start having guests on the show, and who I want us to talk to is my buddy Khalil, who has a beyond fascinating story and a book out called I Forgot to Die, because he was literally a meth addict on Skid Row and is now a multimillionaire empire builder with Sun Life Organics that he started. So that's completely vegan because when he got sober and then worked at sober living places, he started making these concoctions, various smoothies and juices, and people like them so much, just like the very good butcher's stores. They're like, they started buying them, and so he opened up the first one in Malibu. We were there for the opening, and now he's got countless. They're everywhere. I don't know how many they have, but I always joke with the OGL and that we couldn't open up a shop because our healthy shakes are just that. They're just kind of barking them down. There's all the nutrients, but I do that on purpose because then I have all the good stuff for the day.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, that's how you start your day every day, right?
Yep.
You choke down
sulfur now, and then I choke down grass in a glass, and it's not bad. It really isn't.
No, you've maintained all along that it's really not that bad.
No,
I mean, it's an acquired taste at first, but
there's been worse. So so I couldn't open up, but I'd love to talk to him, and he's beautiful inside and out. Has been living the vegan lifestyle since he turned his life around.
That's incredible.
Yeah, he's extraordinary. And,
well, we'll look forward to welcoming him to the show and having some candid conversation about from whence he came and where he's headed and the benefits of plant-based living.
Well, he gets. I can tell you that all the celebrities go there. Like Pamela Anderson is always in there. For some reason, I remember because she was barefoot, and I'm like, it's very Malibu, like
walking down the street barefoot.
Oh, barefoot in your pajamas.
Oh my goodness.
No, when I first moved there, I was like a drag queen. What with the overdressing? Why do you have jeans and a belt on? What, are you trying to be fancy? And David Duchovny came every day, and and that's when I knew about Rich Roll, the elite athlete who's vegan. He introduced me to so many of these things. So it was my first foray before I met you, Donnie. Before I met you, fiance, and you got me full in. He was my vegan, just the tip.
He was a vegan amuse bouche.
He was. Vegan fluffer for me. And so listen, the ones who are really good at it absolutely know how to make it delicious.
Well, you have to,
Right. So, yeah.
Well, that's exciting.
I think so. Well, I'm gonna I like being the guinea pig for these things and seeing how they go.
And I'm really quite happy to let you be the guinea pig.
I know. You can just observe me like a lab rat. And I also love lab rats. We love them all. Also, we have little kittens here too, but we found them on homes.
Yes, well, most of them. Yes, so we have homes for some of the newborn kitties. They're only a week old. very exciting.
You said their eyes just opened.
Their eyes did just open just yesterday, as a matter of fact. So,
goodness.
and then we're also going to be having a look. It's now day 7.
I know. I'm nervous.
Our incubating eggs, and so you really don't want to touch them prior to 7 days, because that's the most delicate time of fertilization for them. Well, not fertilization. They're already fertilized. Development. Mm-hmm. So
today we'll find out if there's any hope of
if they're viable,
chickens.
right?
Yeah.
So next time we'll be able to report how many.
If we're expecting or not. Can I also just say that at one point the alarm went off on the incubator and that panicked us both. We're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, it was the wee hours in the morning too.
Of course.
It was
That's
a low temperature alarm that went off.
Yeah. Okay. I guess it got a little too cold.
Yeah. So we just and it's we turn the heat down because we're environmentally conscious. So we turn the heat down in the house.
And your body wants to be cold at night.
Well, I prefer being. Well, you sleep with your window open.
Oh yeah. No matter I know a couple times you're like, yeah, maybe I'll shut that window. It's just like frozen. I love you need to have a duvet and several covers.
I mean, I like being chilly too, but there have been some moments when it's like minus literally 30 degrees with the wind chill outside, and I'll be in the barn, and I'll look over at the house, and I'll be like, Jesus Christ, that crazy broad's got her window open.
Yeah, people didn't like that in university or former husbands. But because they were saying, the whole thing is your body that's one of the reasons, and I mean, I don't know, and people have different theories on this, why they say not to eat, especially something huge before you go to bed, like a pizza, because then your body's got to work at it and digesting and everything, and then the thermal, the heat goes up, and that's not conducive for sleeping because your body wants to be a little cooler at night. And it's delicious.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and that makes sense too. That with food, your body temperature would go up. That's how horses, for example, keep themselves warm. They eat to stay warm. It's a process of digestion that generates body heat, right? So.
Oh, apparently with the sulfur, it's good for your pets, and they say racehorses have been taking it for years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. Well, so that I want to do a lot more research.
Yeah, we need to do a lot more research.
And again, none of this, I'm not a doctor, do your own research, check with your doctor.
I'm just going to get you a hand too.
And we've been, money's coming, I hope so. I hope money is here very soon. Apparently it's safe for your pets and that, because this was something that horses have been into, so I thought you might enjoy looking into that.
Yeah, no, I definitely will.
Too.
I definitely will, yeah. It certainly bears further examination, for sure. I'm a little more cautious, I think, sometimes than you are about experimenting with some of these supplements and things, but...
Well, I mean, I make sure that I get the pure ones. That's why, because a lot of them, and look, as people say, you can pee a lot of them out, right? Yeah. So, and you have to be careful what you combine, and again, you want to check with the physician. It's all because I think people think if you could buy it at Shoppers Drug Mart or CVS, and a lot of people make this mistake, if it's natural or alternative medicine, it doesn't mean it's not potent. You got to be careful. Exactly. So you do have to be careful with it.
Absolutely. I mean, I think it's important to, to do your research, to understand what you're ingesting, to go on a fact-finding mission and arm yourself with knowledge. Right?
Exactly. And we're snowflakes. And I don't mean that in the derogatory sense, but we're all different, right? Each one of us is different with different body chemistry, and so that's why it's so important to make sure, no matter what you're doing, whether it's vegan or supplements or anything, exercise, these are all things I'll tell you, yoga will, for me, it really knocks my dick in the dirt, as my brother would say. It brings up a lot of emotions. You want to make sure that your room is warm enough. One of the only times I was injured is doing yoga one time in Los Angeles, and it was a cold room. Woman hadn't gotten there on time, and it was way too cold, and you can hurt yourself. So there are a lot of things that you have to keep in mind when you're doing anything.
Is that why they do hot yoga?
Well, yeah, because they're mimicking. It's that creepy guy that the Netflix thing was like.
Which creepy guy? There's so many.
Oh, I know. Be more specific. Oh, it was a big documentary over a year ago. Oh, I've got to look up his name. And he walked around, looked like he was in a diaper. Really bad. And he apparently invented it. I always thought it's because it's mimicking India, but the really hot yoga, which isn't my jam, mostly because I'm very claustrophobic. I don't like the super hot room, but you do need a warm room. Like when if I do yoga here, I make sure I'm upstairs so that I'm just in my room. Well, also because there's 47 animals in there, which is quite fun with the cats and they're all mellow during it too. But I want to, and I never have my window open then. I want it nice and warm because you want your muscles and everything.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
Because you're doing, it's very different than, say, a cardio workout or weights, so you've got to kind of listen to your own body. And apparently our cells listen to us. So we can talk to them, but you have to listen to your own body. And again, your doctor or your homeopath practitioner, whomever you trust and who knows your stuff. That's, it's true. I'm a big guinea pig. I've always been a little risk taker, much to my family's chagrin. But you do have to be sensible and be careful, and you don't want to mix things. I mean, it's just like our pets. Our good friend in front of the show, Emily's. Yes, speaking of, so it's funny that I mentioned Dr. Zira and how happy I am that she's now, off the meds because she was on prednisone, right? So that's a steroid, and she kind of hurt her little back, and she hadn't done that for a long time, but there are other dogs around again. And I love Metacam. Metacam has been my jam with any dog who's gotten hurt. And you, of course, had some here for Cadbury. And I was thinking, well, if this continues, I'll give her some Metacam. And thank God, Emily's like, oh, that will kill her. She's on prednisone. So again, when you're listening to us, I don't know what meds you're on or what this might conflict with, and that's why you always have to be so super diligent.
You need to be your own advocate.
Yes,
right? Do your own research.
I mean, I'm a comedian. God knows. I'm wearing a trucker hat in 2021.
A camo hat.
I know. I'm like, can you still even see me?
I can, yeah.
It's so mysterious. And the other thing, I'm hoping it's the first day of spring.
I know. So exciting.
Spring
so exciting. It was such a gorgeous day today.
Gosh, yeah. And I feel like this is
coming.
I know with your life right now, you're getting rid of some stuff. Yeah. Total chaos, bitch. Total chaos. Well, you're busy at all times, but I know with the coverall having collapsed and you're getting rid of some old stuff, I think I was saying earlier, what a great time for it, because it's renewal, right?
Yeah, it's a cleanse.
Cliche spring cleaning and cleanse
for
and
sure.
Get it all out there.
Yeah.
My thought on cleanse is I feel like toxins may be the only things holding me together. So I can't do a full cleanse, but, and I'm hoping that just, not to sound trite, but that there's a whole sense of renewed hope and excitement. I just think we've been lacking that for a long time.
Well, we have, and this year, as we've said at the top of the show, has been challenging, and now that things are starting to reopen, and how
like my mouth, some things reopen too soon,
and how fortuitous that the world should be opening around the springtime at the time when life is anew and Mother Nature is coming back to life and all that kind of stuff. So, this is always a magical time of year because it's
longer days.
Well, yeah, but it's also,
it's a rebirth.
It is a rebirth.
And I like to, what my philosophy is and we can say that it's, I just read something and I always screen, take a little screenshot of it. It's never too late, and if you've made mistakes, no problem. You can treat every day as the rebirth, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't.
Oh, absolutely.
And I don't say that just as a born again Wiccan.
Well,
That's a funny joke.
one of my life philosophies is there's no such thing as a mistake. The mistake is the thing you never learn from, right? Everything else is just an opportunity.
And think about happy mistakes, things that wouldn't have happened. Sometimes things go a little bit wrong so that they weren't going to be disastrous, and then it leads you towards someone or another. It's amazing that way. So I think on this last week's, because it was our season finale of Carla Collins Rocks the Elmo.
Yes, great show.
Oh my God, please watch that show on my YouTube channel or find it on Apple Podcast, because Graham Trude, Chris Earle, the Singing Soldiers, and a special guest appearance by Dee McDermott again. I don't want to give away the surprise.
No, you have to watch the show.
It's so great.
Yeah, it really is well done. And they talk, Chris and Graham, who are really good friends of ours, they raise some really, really, particularly now, more so than ever, some really valuable points and share some invaluable insights into mental health and PTSD and
they're both, by the way, they're like military heroes, and Graham fought in Afghanistan, and Chris Earl was a fly boy, and I was like, tell me more about the military chopper, but and Graham, to see him, this is a big beautiful man who looks like Will Sasso's younger brother, like he's a big burly tatted up guy who has a beautiful wife and a beautiful home. And he's very candid about having been suicidal and just his
addictions.
Raw honesty, right?
Very candid about his addictions. Like, that's power. You know, this is a man who has embraced his shortcomings and used them to create this incredibly strong. The incredibly strong man you see today.
And he uses it for advocacy and singing.
He's an amazing, and I feel so blessed to call him a very dear friend.
Well, and he loves you.
I absolutely adore. I know he calls me his bitch, but I love him.
That's just a term of endearment.
It is.
I know, and sometimes some of my hardcore feminist friends, they give me shit for using that. And I'm like, I'm not going to stop using it, bitches. I really like it. And I love when someone's like, "Oh, how you doing, you sexy bitch?" I'm like, "Thank you."
Well, it's up with love.
Yeah,
right?
it is.
But it's a great episode.
It really is, and interestingly, again, in another mention, my OGL said he had to watch it in increments because if you yourself have suffered any trauma or PTSD, so that's powerful.
Yeah, it's a really powerful episode.
But with loads of laughs too, like there's good tension release, right? Especially the end.
Oh my gosh, yeah, absolutely. Really, really, really wonderful episode.
Yeah, I get a tattoo. And it was just like, I was really concerned about the camera angle, and also because you wanted me to talk, obviously. Michael, by the way, in case you don't know, produces that show. So I was trying to hold my head up. I'm in this yoga, like it was not a comfortable position, while young Tyler, who looks 12, was tattooing Le Petit Prince, the Little Prince, on my right hip. And so I look like I'm in some weird retro Burt Reynolds pose. It's just
like you belong on the cover of Playboy magazine.
Like that Cosmo, it's me on a bearskin rug in front of a fireplace. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. So anyway, it's a great season finale, and
no better way to end the season.
Circle jerk all the way back around. ADD woman is that I ended with some Albert Einstein quotes. And that's the whole thing, whether we think it's a friendly universe or a hostile one. It's the biggest decision we'll make, right? Like that, whether you're living your life if nothing is a miracle or everything is. And look, it's tough sometimes.
Of course it is.
You and I are just like, so I said something, I'm like, sorry, just being grumpy. And you're like, no problem, I'm being bitchy.
Listen, at the end of the day, we're all human. But life is about choice. And this is something I have maintained from day one. I'm just looking at your glass and coming back to this whole Einstein thing. You have a choice. The glass is either half full or it's half empty. That is a choice. And how you choose to embrace life and how you choose to navigate life is all on you. And when you make the decision to navigate through life in a positive way and seeing the beauty and the positivity in life, it's remarkable how life-changing that is, the world just opens up completely, and
it seems like such a simple equation, but it's
it's all choice. Like the power is all yours, 100% yours, and
which a lot of people don't want that though, right? Like it's like, gosh, shit, really? Like I know that my life has often just been a tapestry of some very poor decisions, but then I make comedy out of it. So there's always something that will come out of it.
Well, sure.
Always something.
You've known me long enough to know that, the universe provides, like not every gift comes
you manifest like Oprah Winfrey or something. Like you manifest really quite remarkably.
Well, yes. And I'm grateful for that too. But But you know that one of my favorite sayings is that not all gifts come wrapped in pretty paper, right? Sometimes the universe provides us with some hardship so that we have the tools we need to really appreciate the blessings that are laying in wait for us. And
can't have the sweet without the sour.
No, you can't, right?
And it's true.
I mean, that's why Asian food's so goddamn delicious, because it is sweet and sour, right?
It is, and you can't appreciate one without the other. You're right, and you know, like light and dark have been, and I think during
they
one
must
of
coexist, right?
I think the first comedic meditation that you very kindly were one of the sponsors here in Canada that I did, is I talked a bit about our shadow.
Yep.
Because the other thing is like, ignoring it doesn't have, you know, they're
doesn't
working
go
in
away.
tandem, and I said you could shadow box, you can make jokes, and the other thing about a shadow is it's all perspective, right? Like one of my favorite shots is Zira at the beach, and she's got this giant
she's
shadow.
enormous, right? Yeah.
And if you just move it around, then it's just a little baby. So we have control of that, and as I said, I think, and I don't even know if I said this in the last show, I'm like, look, don't always have to face your demons or wrestle your demons. Sometimes I like to turn my back on my demons and ignore them for a bit, or just want to have a cup of tea with them. You don't always have to, you know, you've got to go on your own ebb and flow, right? Because there are days when we can absolutely arm wrestle the dragon, and other days
we just don't have.
You've got the window open when it's minus 30 and your head's under the duvet in a little fort.
But at the end of the day, like the moral of the story is that we have the power. It's all within us. You know, it really is at the end of the day all about choice.
Which is, I mean, as much as people don't sometimes, and when I say people, I mean all of us, right? We're like, but I couldn't possibly have brought that in, and what do you mean? But on the other hand, you have all the power.
We do have all the power.
So, if you see it on the exciting, you know, powerful control part, as a control freak, I like that. I'd rather have that than thinking that it's just a random, you know, just like when they say you can always change your fortune, right? That just,
100%.
it's and the mind over matter, I'm really big into that too, as you know.
Me too.
So much of it is, as I said, just the simple things like, you know, I was listening to something saying that we get rid of a lot of our fat through exhaling.
Huh?
I know. We don't have time, baby, on this show because we're almost at the end. But when you think about everything, like sometimes just a simple few deep breaths, right? Just all the simple basics. A good meal, a good belly laugh, the right person, right? You've got to have your tribe. You know who you can reach out to, who you can't. You know what holding a dog does even for inmates in prisons. It completely lowers their stress level immediately, right? The heart rate, exactly. There's less violent. And there's also, by the way, they're saying that about the vegan diet too.
Interesting. What, that those
like
who
that.
are living a vegan life?
Well, no, that when they're giving organic, clean, mostly plant-based foods to inmates.
Really?
They say change your food, change your life.
Really? Isn't that interesting? Well, maybe that's something we should explore too.
I know. Well, you know me, I love prison documentaries. Like a good prison documentary. I like it a lot. Or just make silly faces and voices, and that's how we've been getting through the night. So stupid. Also, by the way, it's Meta Stewart Webb's birthday this week. Yeah, shut up. There's a stripper. I've hired a stripper called Brockhard.
It's not broccoli.
I was going to get broccoli. He's the vegan stripper. But they're just so in demand right now.
Oh, God.
So if you want to send a card. So yes, it's your birthday on March 25th. And I know you're like, it's just another day. But my mom was very big. So the birthday's the one day we have to ourselves. Even though there's like a lot of other people who have the same date, of course. But you got, and my other thing was, we've got to celebrate anything we're celebrating. I feel like we need to go with that because it's just so easy to be, just snowed under by all the stress and the crushing debt or anything else that people are like, oh my God, but how many more lockdowns? So when you've got anything like a birthday, I know people are just like, I don't even celebrate them after a certain age. I'm like, well, what's the alternative? I still think it's a win.
Well, that's true.
You don't have to say your age. I mean, I don't put the candles on the cake because fire hazard.
There's not enough room.
So,
that would be like one of those giant slab cakes.
Exactly.
You get to feed the
and then Brock Harlan jumps out. Does look dead. So happy birthday, Michael. We will celebrate
thank you. I appreciate that.
My
Thanks
beautiful,
so
beautiful, miraculous fiance.
much. Oh, stop.
Well, as you should. As you should. It's a lot. It's I mean, we have the best non-sexual chemistry in the world. Let's just call it what it is.
We're both so blessed to have each other.
Second, Will and Grace. You know that those two, they weren't really even digging each other by it. You could tell. They're like, no, we've had it. Even though we're more Karen and Jack. Whatever.
Well, that was a great relationship, too.
Oh my God. Honey, what's with the Pilgrim Pumps? I love that character. It's one of my favorite characters of all time on TV. It really, Megan Mullally.
Oh my God, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
She's fantastic. Yeah. So what did I say? We were kind of, because we're such a combination. We're like, if Will and Grace and Jack had a couple of love children.
Yeah, we would be their offspring.
We would be their offspring. We are the perfect, and if they were vegan.
Yes.
But not entirely dicks, just a little bit. Just the tips. And I think that's it for this episode.
Oh, do you know what I did want to mention?
What?
I got a note from Karen Moore Armstrong, who's one of our...
Do all your friends have 3 names like you?
Yes, almost. They know what's good for them.
Karen Moore Armstrong, hello.
Yes. So Karen tried our vegan chili. And
super chill chili, yes.
Yes. So Karen weighed in just a couple of hours ago to let me know that it went over very well, and she said it was absolutely delicious, and nobody, and this is a family of meat eaters, nobody missed the meat.
That's fantastic. Love that. Yeah, I love the interaction that's happening.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's great to get this feedback.
Yay, Karen.
So thank you, Karen, for trying our super chill chili, and I'm looking forward to her feedback with some of the other recipes too.
Yes, and we love hearing from you. We really do. We love all the comments on socials, and reach out if you have any questions about ingredients or more for the recipes, because we're putting out a book, so but we are doing a little bit of recipes right now. I'm just thinking that I just remembered we have some guac, because for some reason when you ordered the groceries we got 47,000 avocados, and you're looking at me and I'm like, I like to have one a day, but dude, I'm only human, I can't.
Well, in my defense, normally they come in little packs of 4 or 5, and I don't know what the hell happened, but it was like 2 bags of 25 each.
I know. Festival.
It was like the club pack of
avocados. They have quorum now. They've actually taken over the house. They're holding us against our will right now. So I'm going to go have some guac. So happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, honey.
Thanks for listening.
That. I loves you.
Mwah.
Mwah. Thanks, everybody.
And see.